Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game I'm playing together with Headwinder, and in this game we're going to be looking at a Conqueror team composition that ends up playing into 4 Emissaries. It's actually a build that I've wanted to try ever since the set started, playing the full 4 Emissaries instead of just 1, and I haven't actually had a chance to put it in play until I was able to get this game footage. I think I had one other game where I tried it and I couldn't quite make it work, but this was a game where it was able to come together and it turned into a pretty fun game, so I figured I'd go ahead and put the footage up on YouTube. Now, we end up getting a Vi portal here, or I guess it's officially a Vi encounter, which is one of my favorite ones. It just gives you 2 component anvils. It does promote a start that high rolls to a certain extent, because if you have a good start, then it just kind of amplifies and magnifies having a good start, makes it even better. So it does make it a little bit harder to come back if you have a bad start. But with that said, a lot of the other encounters are a lot worse, so I don't really mind this one that much. Even if it's, like I said, if you just like have a really weak start, then it just means you're in an even bigger hole than you would be otherwise. So far, I haven't really seen a whole lot here. Like, I haven't really gotten anything all that interesting. I guess I have the 2-star Zyra is about the only thing I can say that kind of stands out at this point. And then I have I guess I do have kind of a Rebel opener, I suppose. I don't feel like Rebel is particularly strong in the patch that we were playing here, though. So that's a possibility that I could look to go, but I didn't think that that was quite the direction I wanted. So I'm still just trying to figure it out here. I didn't get a strong sense from the minion rounds. Just basically had this Zyra and then like pieces of 4 or 5 other comps that I could have played. So I was telling Headwinder, I'm mostly just hoping that I'm going to get some direction from the minion rounds. Now, I actually did think about this Welcome to the Playground, because they do have somewhat of a family start, but Headwinder was like, he said, I'm pretty sure that's not a very good augment, and I didn't have even 1 violet, so probably not good to play that if you don't have even 1 violet on your board. So ultimately I decided not to go that route. I'm going to look to reroll some of these. I did think about Cluttered Mind. I was thinking about maybe doing that one. If I couldn't find anything else, just go with Cluttered Mind, but I was really hoping for something better. You can see it's taking me a long time to make a decision, and ultimately I take this Tower Defense. Gain a training dummy equipped with a random emblem that fires at enemies. So you get a random emblem and also this dummy that shoots at enemies. And it turns out I have a Conqueror emblem here, and so that's going to dictate the direction that my game goes. So like I said, I really don't have much here just yet. I was able to get Conqueror trait in play by just shoving Darius on the board. That puts 2 Conqueror in. And then I also have this random 2-star Zyra, and I also have a 2-star Aurelia. So I have like random pieces of other things, but what I have right now is really not especially good. I definitely need to get a bit more on my board. I also don't think that my items are quite what I'm looking for either. And what is it? A bow, a cloak, and a belt. So I'm actually going to be able to kill most of the units here, and I think that that's just because I happen to have 2 2-star units on my board, but like my board had no real synergy. So anyway, at least it's a close loss. It's not too bad there. That said, Headwinder is going to basically save my game here, because I had a very weak start, and you do not want to play Conquer with a weak start. Conquer is a win streaking play from a head trait, but Conquer is going to save me here because Headwinder is going to save me here because he had an early Swain, and that is exactly what I need to unlock this board. That was just what I needed. So I'm going to send in the 2-star Aurelia, and he's actually going to look to play into a Rebel team composition here. I think he had 4 Aurelias already, and this gets him up to 7. And so he's going to look to play in Rebel, and he thinks he can probably 3-star Aurelia. And then I'm going to go ahead and make some items that are good here on Swain, because Swain is by far, and I mean by far, the best unit that I have on my board. So I'm going to make a Sunfire Cape, and I'm going to make a Gargoyle Stone Plate. And the Swain gives me 4 Conquer, and I even have Sorcerer trait in because I still have that random 2-star Zyra from the beginning of the game. So I was like up the creek without a paddle here at the start of the game, because I had like 1-star Darius, 1-star Draven. I had just very, very little here, but the Swain completely flips this around. And in fact, you see, I get the immediate Conquer cash out right here. I get the 10-stack cash out immediately. Okay, so if you're new to Conqueror trait, I've done several videos on this. It's one of my favorite traits in this set. It is an economic trait. And when you put the trait in play, you get a stack counter on the right-hand side. And as you kill enemy units, you get additional stacks of the trait. Unlike almost every other economic trait in TFT's history, which mostly have incentivized loss streaking, which is what Chem Baron does, the other economic trait in this set, it is the exact opposite here with Conquer. Conquer is a win streaking trait. You only get stacks by killing enemy units. Losing rounds does nothing for you. If you get no kills, you do not get any stacks. So you need to be strong. It is a trait that you play by getting ahead in the early game and win streaking. It is a tempo trait. It is much like playing Spoils of War Augment, where if you don't have Spoils of War, if you're not killing enemy units, you don't get gold drops and item drops. And so you really need to be strong. So I like this trait because it incentivizes playing fast, playing tempo, trying to win streak, all things that I enjoy doing. I wouldn't say it's particularly strong in this patch. The developers have kind of tried to work to keep it a bit under-tuned, which I think they have to do, because if this trait gets too strong, then there's a potential, like, anytime you get a Conquer start, you could just snowball ahead, like, infinitely. And that would not be ideal for a situation like this. So it's a little bit underpowered, but like if you can get ahead of the pace of the lobby, it starts to become very, very strong because you can start getting loot payouts very quickly. By the way, I'm getting 1 billion Zyras in this game, but I know that Zyra will not be on my board long term. All right, so I will go ahead and level and play the Urgot, and that's because Urgot's going to put Pit Fighter in for the Draven. Now, I only have 1-star Draven, so he's not doing a whole lot, but I will go ahead and grab that unit. If you notice, I have 1 stars of every single Conqueror unit, so I don't really expect to be win streaking, but the early Swain is so strong with good items on him. He's kind of just carrying my board, even though it's all a bunch of 1 stars aside from the Zyra. I am overflowing with Zyras in this game. All right, now this person took the augment that gives you a what is it? I believe it gives you a copy of a 1-cost unit every single round, and the one they happened to get was Darius. So they're going to get like 1 billion Dariuses, and they'll be able to make Darius 4-star. If the game goes on long enough. So that means it's going to be hard for me to hit Darius, but I don't need to like 3-star Darius. He's just in there as a trait bot anyway. All right, so I mentioned Conquer. It's like this econ trait that stacks up over time. By the way, I just got the 35 stack cash out. That is the second one. This gives you a 2-star 2-cost unit, which I'm going to go grab any second now. And that actually, I believe, is going to end up dictating a little bit about what I end up doing in this game. Any second now. I actually had to step away from the computer for a second. So I'm actually going to get a 2-star Trist. And I was like, oh, now frequently you just sell this unit for gold. Like when you get the 2-star 2-cost, you often just sell for 5 gold. But I was like, I actually think I want to play this unit. Trist is going to put Emissary trait in play. And that is the other trait we're going to be featuring in this video. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But basically, Trist is going to give my whole team some additional attack speed. Going to give a team-wide benefit of 12% additional attack speed. It is a 6% team-wide attack speed per star level on Trist, and she's already a 2-star, so 6 times 2, that is 12% team-wide attack speed, which is going to be kind of nice. And of course, she's just a 2-star 2-cost, which at this early in the game is a pretty big boost to my board anyway. All right, so as I said, Conqueror trait. When you play this trait, you get stacks. Every time you kill units, you get stacks in this trait. At Conqueror 2, you get 1 stack per enemy unit killed. At Conqueror 4, you get 3 stacks per enemy unit killed. So yeah, every time I kill an enemy unit, I'm getting 3 stacks. Now they do have to be damaged by, one of the Conqueror units. So if I was just playing like 2 Conquerors and the rest of my board were non-Conquerors, I wouldn't necessarily get a stack. But with 4 different Conqueror units on the board, I'm pretty much guaranteed that they're going to hit them with an ability of some kind. So I should be able to get stacks pretty much every time I see one of them. By the way, I could have gone for Trist 3-star, but I think that would have been too expensive from an econ perspective. I also get the additional Conqueror unit, Rel, who is the 2-cost Conqueror. So now I have I have 4 Conqueror units and the emblem. So if I put Rel on the board, I can get up to 5 Conquerors. I also get another Swain coming over from Headwinder, and I send him an Aurelia, so he gets 3-star Aurelia. That's going to make his Rebel board pretty strong right here. So what I'm really looking for now is Ambessa, who is the 4-cost Conqueror unit, because she would allow me to play 6 Conquerors. I could play Darius and Draven, plus Rel, plus Swain, plus Ambessa, and then plus that tower dummy. and that would get me up to the 6 conquer. If I can get up to 6 conquer, I actually will get 6 stacks per enemy unit killed, and you actually stack up the trait very quickly once you get to that. Like in the late game, if you're winning rounds, again, I always want to make it clear, if you're not winning rounds, you're not getting much of anything from this. And I just hit 70 stacks, so I'm going to get the next cash out here from Conquer trait. So like you do have to be killing things, but you can stack it up really fast. Like in late game boards often have like 9 units on it. You know, if you're getting 6 stacks per kill, again, you know, that's like 50 stacks immediately. You can get that per round. You can stack it up very, very quickly. All right, next up is our second augment, and this one is prismatic. So I was like, I kind of didn't want a prismatic here. It's definitely not wand overflow. It might be belt overflow, but then I see piercing lotus as an option. We get a critical strike chance. Everybody's abilities can crit, and critical strikes shred and sunder the target. And then I also get a Garen here as well. The 75 stack cash out. Oh, by the way, I'm going to take the piercing lotus. The 75 stack cash out for Conquer gives you a 4 cost unit. Now, if I was really high rolling, that would have given me an Ambessa, and I could have played 6 Conquer. I don't get that, but I do get a Garen, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, you know, I'm already playing Trist on my board. I just got a Garen here, who I can definitely play on this board. Garen has Watcher trait, and that pairs with Darius. I was like, I'm going to play Ambessa. That's 3 of the 4 emissaries, like right now. If I can just find Nami and then find Ambessa later on, that would be all 4 of the emissaries. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to look to play this into 4 emissaries, as was already spoiled from the title of this video, of course. But yeah, we're going to try to play 6 Conquerors, 4 emissaries, which I think would be pretty strong. And again, the big thing is I just have to be ahead of the rest of the lobby in tempo. Okay, so here comes Headwinder's board over here. I got reinforced on, but then Headwinder came over and helped me. And that's actually going to provide even more units for my team to kill. So I was able to get even more Conqueror stacks here. And by the way, there's a Nami, so now I'll just hold the Nami as well. So now I just need to find Ambessa. I need to find her quite badly. But so far, so good. I'm about to get the 100 stack cash out. I'm on a modest little winning streak here of 3 rounds. And I've got a really interesting game plan. Like, I know where I'm going to go. It's going to be 6 Conquerors plus the 4 emissaries. I should mention there is an additional benefit to Conqueror trait is it does give AD and AP to all of your Conqueror units. The deeper you play into the team, into the trait, the more AP and AD you get. And also every time you open a treasure chest from getting the stack cash out, it goes up by a small amount. I believe 6 Conqueror, the base amount is like 40% AD and AP, and then you can increase that by opening more, by getting more of the cash outs. I think if you get like 10 of them, it goes up to like 55 or 60%, which is a pretty big increase. And this is the 100 stack cash out, which I believe is the 4th one. So I've already actually gotten a decent number of those cash outs just because I had 4 Conqueror in from like the first round of the game, or I think it was the second PvP round. I had the Swain come over, but like that's very early to get 4 Conqueror. All right, now the first thing I was looking for is Ambessa here, and unfortunately there is no Ambessa, so that's a little bit disappointing. Also might have snapped up the Garen if that had been there, so I'm not finding any of those, but I will get 3rd pick here. I can go ahead and take something, and I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and take the sword. I know it's on a 1-cost champ, but nothing else here was that useful for me. I guess the belt wouldn't have been terrible, but that was only on a 2-gold champ, so this will allow me to do Infinity Edge Last Whisper, and I was hoping that maybe I could put them on like a quirky later. And by the way, for this drop, I'm going to get a 3-cost champion, who turns out to be Swain and gives me Swain 2-star. And then I also get a cheap, a lesser champion duplicator. So, you know, Draven doesn't have much attack speed, but he has Infinity Edge Last Whisper, so that's not bad. And then Ambessa pops up in my shop. I was like, okay. So Ambessa's in my shop, so I will level to level 7. Now, you notice I drop all the way down to 15 gold by doing this. Like, I just spent a lot of income to make this happen. But, as I've said before, Conquer is a win-streaking trait. You want to get out in front of the pace of the rest of the lobby, and you want to try to kill as many enemy units as possible, because if you're not killing enemy units, you're not getting those sweet, sweet stacks. But, yeah, I was right, 40% AD and AP. And that goes up by 5% for each chest that we open. But now I have 6 Conqueror, and so I'm getting 6 stacks for every single kill. I was like, okay, let's go. That sounds pretty good to me. Unfortunately, though, I'm up against this board. I actually thought I would be able to win streak with this board, but I came up against the person who has the Anger Issues Zeri. That is a prismatic augment there. Every single completed item you make transforms into a rage blade. It was basically a meme augment for a long time, but it actually has been buffed to the point where it's not that bad anymore. It's actually a pretty decent augment at this point. And it has one comp it can be played with, which is Zeri Kog'Maw. It's very strong in the mid game. It does tend to get outscaled a little bit in the late game. I am going to get the second half of the gift round here from Headwinder, and I will go ahead and stuff this Thief's Glove on Rel, and I can always look to move that to somebody else long term. So yeah, 6 Conquer this early is going to be super, super nice. Now, I didn't get that many stacks last round because I lost the round, but I do think I'm stronger than most of these boards. Having 6 Conquer in on stage 3 is extremely strong. And again, I just need to continue killing enemy units, getting stacks. Like if I can kill, I don't know, 5 units on the enemy board, that's 30 stacks. That'll get me over the 150 stack total, and I am going to just look to keep going from there. I'm actually being competing with this person who has Noxian Guillotine, which causes the abilities of Conquer units to execute, combined with a Conqueror Crown from their Prismatic. So like they have 2 different Conqueror things. You'd think they'd be really strong, but they're actually not that strong. Like they're sitting there at 70 gold, or they're sitting at level 7, 50 gold, and they're down at 34 HP. Like, this is not how you play Conqueror trait. It's how you play Chem Baron trait, but it's not how you play Conqueror trait. So that person is not getting a whole lot. And by the way, I get the next cash out, which is a Reforger and a item component. So now I've got an item component. I can actually look to do something with this. Got the rod and the cloak. And yeah, I have some real potential options here. Now, one other thing that does need to be mentioned is if you look at the emissary thing, I actually have the emissary bonus turned off right now. It says 2 out of 1. You might be like, what the heck, 2 out of 1? Emissary trait works like the old ninja trait from back in some of the earlier sets. I think set 1 and set 4 had this. By the way, look at all these components. I have an insane amount of components here. And I'm going to send this Zoe over to Headwinder, who is still building that Rebel board. The way that it works is you only get the benefit if you're playing 1 emissary or all 4 of the emissaries, and that's the way that it works. So I'm going to try to play all 4 of them. I need to get Nami on the board right now, but in order to play her, I have to drop down to 5 Conquer. It's like, is that worthwhile to do? I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to figure out if I want the 6 Conquer or the 4 emissary, and I guess I went with the 6. I guess I went temporarily with the 4 emissary, but I do need to get Darius back on that board soon because I really do want the 6 Conqueror to keep getting those stacks. And now I have like a billion frontline items, and I definitely need to put make something out of all these items. I was like, okay, so what am I going to do here? I definitely want to reforge something. I have too many frontline items. In particular, I have too many of these. I don't need the rod at all. So what do I end up getting? Another glove. I was like, okay. The glove is not what I was looking for here. I really was trying to make some items that would be good on like melee carries. I would actually take Pandora's items if it were an option here, but it's not. So I was like, all right, I'll just take Blistering Strikes, I think. I always think that this one's pretty good. What do I take an optional one? No, I think I'd take Climb the Ladder instead. Just give me more raw stats. So that fight didn't go too well, but it did give me enough to get the next cash out. That's a 4 cost and a 5 cost, and I actually got Jinx there, so I will hold that for Headwinder's board. Now we're going to level to level 8, put Darius back in, and now I really need to do something with these items. It's like, okay, I got a billion frontline items. Let's at least try to start making stuff with that. We'll make a Quicksilver Sash for Ambessa. That can always go on Mordekaiser later. QSS is a very good item on Mordekaiser. And out of these other items, I was like, okay, I'm not quite sure what I want to do with these. I was like, I guess I could have done Guard Breaker. I didn't really think about that at the time. It's an item I usually do not look to make for whatever reason, but I definitely need to do something with these. I was like, all right, you know what? Let's give Garen, I don't like to do double Sunfires, but I was like, okay. And I've got the items for a Steadfast Heart, so we'll do that. Now, if I can get a sword, I can do like Bloodthirster for a frontliner. But this definitely makes my frontline a little bit tankier, so I'm reasonably pleased with this. They weren't quite the items I wanted. I wanted to get like Titan's Resolve, Bloodthirster, Sterix, because I'm going to be playing Ambessa, who's like a melee carry, but you got to do what you got to do. So I just have like a billion tank items right now. At least my frontline will be strong. All right, emissary trait. As I said before, it only activates if you have 1 or all 4 emissaries in play. So each one of the emissaries has their own unique ability. And yes, I'm going to burn the cheap champion duplicator on Darius 2-star. I really have nothing else to use it on, so why not? I mentioned before, Tristana's ability is attack speed, goes to the whole team, 6% per attack level. Nami's is allies' attacks grant bonus mana, 2 additional mana per unit. That's not really relevant in this game because my units are not really spellcasters. Garen's ability is on combat start, Garen and allies to his right and left gain 12% of his max health. This was actually bugged in the release version, and he was getting it initially, I think, wasn't supposed to apply to Garen himself, but it was applying to Garen himself, so he was getting like some massive benefit that he wasn't intended to get. I think it was applying twice to Garen, something like that. Anyway, it was bugged in the original version. But anyway, Garen provides additional max health to himself and to people who stand next to him. By the way, I would have lost this round, but Headwinder comes over, and that's great because it means even more stacks from my board. As long as I'm hitting some of these units, I'm getting stacks from them. And can Vi win this fight? Vi, you got this? Looks like we do have this one. I guess Vi was actually on the Violet was actually on the enemy team. And then the last one is Ambessa, and Ambessa's is allies gain 2 armor and magic resistance for each opponent defeated. So every time you beat an enemy board, you get 2%. That can go up to 14%. Again, it doesn't sound that great, but 14% armor and MR on every single one of your units is actually pretty good. It's almost like getting Sentinel trait for your whole team for free. All right, now it's time for me to pick, and I was like, I really do not want another cloak, but all right, I guess I'm going to take another cloak here. I guess I could have taken the bow. Maybe that would have been better. But yeah, I guess I'm getting another cloak here then. All right, so there is a Corki, and as I said, I was planning on playing into Corki as my last unit in, and you can see why he's kind of a good fit. If I put Corki on, as I go ahead and make the Dragon's Claw, if you put Corki on the board, he'll make Artillerist trait with Trist, and I have an Infinity Edge Last Whisper, which are good Corki items, so he'd be a nice unit to slot in there as the final unit on my board. So that's what I was planning on. I was planning on playing into Corki, which is why I've grabbed this unit, but I do have to get to level 9 to play him. All right, the one other thing about Emissary is I went through all the individual benefits. Again, normally you're just playing one Emissary, but if you play all 4 of them, you gain all of the Emissaries benefits, all 4 of them at the same time, and every Emissary themselves gains 200 health and 20% damage amp. So this makes Ambessa in particular a much stronger unit. I guess if you have like Triss 3-star, it makes her a lot stronger too. But you're basically just getting a ton of stats for your team, and it's something that can be like hard to evaluate, but you do get just a lot of team-wide stats. So there's a lot of power in the 4 Emissary. All right, now we're gonna get the what's it called? Anomaly round, but look at this. I get the 350 stat cash out, and it's a 2-star Savika, and I was like, oh my god. 2-star Savika. Holy moly. Okay, well, that changes things. Now I'm going to play the Savika. I'm going to ditch the Corki, which was what I was planning on playing. I'm going to play the Savika instead. I got to play this. It's a 2-star 5 cost. So let's see if I can get a Savika one. I was like, oh, it's not strength training. What else? It's not mana, 20 mana. Repulsor is actually not that bad, actually. I think I can make use of this, but apparently I have to put Savika on the board first. So, okay. Put Savika on the board. There we go. And I really want to play this unit, but by playing her, I've actually removed my 4 Emissary benefits. So I was like, oh god, I have to get to level 9 to play this unit, don't I? So I think I actually have to keep Savika on the bench for right now, which seems completely silly, but if I want Conquer and if I want Emissary, I actually have to keep her on the bench. So I think I end up doing this. I'm going to wait and play her as soon as I can get to level 9, but I do have to get to level 9. So I'm probably going to lose a round or two trying to get to level 9, but yeah, I'm just going to hang in there, and then I'll roll on 9. I also, of course, want to play Mordekaiser on my board, so because he is the 5-cost Conqueror unit, and my plan had been that I was gonna drop the Draven and then move his items over to Corki. That has now changed because I'm going to play the Savika. I need to keep Pit Fighter in. So now I will keep the Draven and I will drop the Rel because I want to maintain Pit Fighter. And I don't actually need Rel on this board. By the way, can I beat the Zeri with the anger issues? No, can't beat it yet. But I do think I can outscale that board. And even though I lost, I killed all but 1 unit, so I got like another 50 stacks or something ridiculous right there. And I didn't even have Savika on the board. So it's pretty obvious what I need to do here. Get to level 9, put the Savika on the board, move some of these items over to Savika, and then we're going to try to just 2-star our board because I still have 1-star Ambessa, I still have 1-star Garen, I do not have Mordekaiser, and yeah, I'm still missing quite a few pieces here off this board. But I'm not that far away. And I've been getting a decent amount of cash. By the way, there comes an Ambessa out of the minion rounds. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, that works. And there's a sword. That's what I'm looking for. And there's another Nami. So, okay, I am playing Nami here after all. So we'll hit that. And can I get to level 9 here? I believe that I can. I can also look to pull an item from this anvil as well. Let's see. Oh, did I sell the... I sold the Nami. I didn't actually have to sell that Nami. Whoops. I should have held that unit. Because I thought I had Nami 2-star and I did not. So I was looking at the different options here, and I was like, you know what? I can do Sterix. I'm fine with that. And we'll just go ahead and put this on the Civica. She actually does not get the Conqueror benefit, but we'll still put this on here. And he's like, you know what? Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, are these really the Civica items I want? Not quite, but I'll put this on her nonetheless. I can put Infinity Edge on her, and then I was planning on putting Quicksilver Sash on her as well. I mean, she's a 2-star 5 cost. I think she's going to do some pretty good work, even though these are not the most ideal items for her. She has Pit Fighter, so she has some innate healing regardless, and yeah, she's doing some pretty good work. It's a shame I can't actually give her a Conqueror emblem. Like, my Conqueror emblem's on a dummy. I can't take it off the dummy and give it to her. But if I could, I would definitely do that. Still, I do still have 6 Conqueror in, which is really nice. All right, now the downside is I did overroll a little bit on that last round. I should have saved some gold here for the gift round. So unfortunately, all I can do is send Headwinder the 4-cost champs or the gold here. I believe he takes the 4-cost champ. I'm actually really close here, but I just didn't want to sell my Garen. So that's me being a bad teammate and overrolling here a little bit. But it is what it is. I ended up taking, what is it? I ended up getting a Thief's Glove. That's right. The 420 something stack cash out is a Thief's Glove. So I will go ahead and put that on Ambessa. And now I'm still looking for some of these remaining units here. And I really want, there's another Nami here. I really, really, really want another Garen, because Garen is really should be holding my top tank items, because Garen gets the Emissary bonus and he gets that bonus health and damage amp. So like he gets more benefits by being an Emissary unit than Swain does. Although I guess he doesn't get the Conqueror benefits for that, what that's worth. But yeah, I mean, you can see my team just has like, it doesn't necessarily feel like my team should be this strong, but I am getting an awful lot of stats from Conqueror and Emissary. Conqueror is giving, what, I think I've gotten about 7 or 8 cash outs at this point. So that should be like 50, almost like 50 AD and AP to all the Conquerors. And then you stack on all the Emissary bonuses on top of that. It's like 14 armor and MR. Well, and by the way, I get the 2 completed items here, which I'm pretty content with. The Deathblade, I'm not as confident on what I'm going to do with that. But I did get the Mordekaiser coming over, so we're going to ditch the Rel, and then we can look to put these items on somebody. So now I have another Thief's Glove free, so it's like, okay, well, we'll put the Deathblade on Draven, little old 1-cost Draven back there. We'll put the Thief's Glove on Mordekaiser for right now. We can always shift this stuff around. And then I found another Jinx, so I'll hold that for Headwinder if we ever get another one of these gift rounds. But as I was saying, it's like there's so many stats that I'm getting for free right now. The Conqueror stats, Trist's attack speed, Nami's mana on a hit, the Garen extra health benefit for like my whole front row, and then Ambessa giving 14 armor and MR to the whole team. Like, it's just a ton of stats. So now I'm finally up against that Zeri Anger Issues board again, and like, look what happens. We just annihilate the board. So like, that board was stronger than me all through the mid game, but I have outscaled that board, and Civica does 6,000 damage, and I think that like 2,000 of that was true damage. So yep, I mean, I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I'm getting all this loot, and like, this is what you need to do when you're playing Conquer. You got to get out in front of the pace of the lobby and then take advantage of all that extra loot that you're getting. Like, my game completely changed around the fact that a 2-star Civica dropped out of nowhere, but I could have used a lot of the 5 costs as well. Like, if it had been 2-star Rumble, that would have been awesome. I would have played that with what's his name? I would have played that with the Rel, and that would have been really nice. Or I could have gotten, I don't know, well, some of them would have been more useful than others, but that still would have been pretty good. All right, so can I finally hit this Garen here? Someone else, I think, finally hit the 4-star Darius. I think the person who gets a Darius for free every round. We're looking at some of these other boards. Someone's playing, we've still got the Anger Issues Zeri, although I just beat them. This other person's playing Rebel, but not playing it as well as Headwinder. They still don't have the Jinx, which is what you need for that board to become effective. And I'm going to go ahead and put the Quicksilver Sash on Mordekaiser. It's such an important Mordekaiser item. I'm actually going to reforge the Thief's Glove here and get a useful item here. Mordekaiser really needs the Quicksilver Sash. It's probably his most important item because he cannot afford to get hit by crowd control. Mordekaiser's ability is he swings, and then when his mana bar fills up, he starts swinging that mace around, doing a ridiculous amount of damage. But he's very, very susceptible to getting crowd controlled. Very, very susceptible to that. By the way, it looks like I don't have quite enough to win this round. It's very close. But yeah, I just barely lost. But I did get the next cash out, the 550 stack cash out right there. And like, I just need to 2-star more of my board. I think a 2-star Garen would have won that round because my front line was a little bit lacking. All right, this time we get to pick an item anvil, and I was like, oh, Crown Guard. That's one of Mordekaiser's best items. That's going to make him a lot tankier. Now, if I could just 2-star this Mordekaiser, I want to keep rolling here. There's a Mel, but I can't use Mel this game. I had that Sorks game in the past that I put on YouTube where I played Mel, but I'm like, there's another Ambessa, but I just cannot seem to find Mordekaisers in this lobby. I still don't even have the 2-star Nami, although 2-starring Nami doesn't really do anything for my board. All right, so we're going to continue moving around units here. I've got really good items on Mordekaiser. I'm reasonably happy with my items on Savika. I actually have pretty good items on the Draven as well, although Draven being a 1-cost unit is not going to do that much. So anyway, Mordekaiser actually manages to avoid getting CC'd this round. He's doing a lot of work. Yeah, he actually did the most damage in the fight. He did more damage than 2-star Savika. And I was able to get another, I'm not sure how many stacks, but like another, I don't know, 70 stacks in that fight, something like that. One other fun thing about Conquer trait is you can get, I've said this before, but you can get stacks on other people's boards. So the reinforcing mechanic tends to make it a little bit better. And I'm at 628 stacks already. Getting pretty close to the max stack that you can get is 1,500, but the only way you can realistically get to the 1,500 stacks is if you get triple Conqueror emblems, which lets you play Conqueror 9, and Conqueror 9 gives you 20 stacks per kill. And it also gives some insane amount of AD and AP to the whole team. So that's not very realistic. I have seen it happen in one game. It's like Fortune 10 from back in the music set. You just like get so far ahead of everybody else. It's insane. All right, so again, there's the Garen, thank goodness. I'm still really looking for the Mordekaiser. I don't want to go to like level 10 unless I can find the Mordekaiser. So, all right, we don't end up seeing that there. I'll keep looking for it. There's the Nami. I mean, I'll go ahead and buy that. Why not? Doesn't do a whole lot for my board. And then I get to pull another item anvil here. So I'm looking at the stuff here, and I was like, you know what? I think the Warmogs is what I want, because I can put that on Garen, and it's going to be very effective on Garen. I actually could do the perfect Garen item too. I think I should have done this. Should have done Warmogs plus Bramble plus Dragon's Claw. Did I do that for the Garen? Oh, I put the Sunfire on him. Yeah, I should have done the Dragon's Claw as well, just for teams that are AP focused, because those are like the perfect tank items. Could have combined them all together there. I think I put the Sunfire Cape on him because it did give him more health. By the way, this is another unit that has 3-star. That's not the Zeri Anger Issues board, though. But yeah, we're going to win that round. And now I'm able to get over here to help Headwinder. And I think we have enough to finish this off between the units I've got there. More stacks. Give me more stacks. Give me more stacks. Actually going to get up to 700 stacks here. And there's a Mordekaiser. We're going to get another cash out here. And what is it? I believe this is an artifact item. I have no one to put this Dragon's Claw on, so it goes on Darius. So I was like, okay. Can I hit one more Mordekaiser? And I was like, ooh, artifact item. I'm looking at the different options. And I should have taken Zanya's Paradox. It's actually a really, really good Mordekaiser item. But instead, I accidentally picked Silvermere Dawn. I was like, is this going to be really good on Mordekaiser? Because it does give like a ton of AD. But it turns out this item is actually terrible on Mordekaiser because it locks his attack speed. It locks his attack speed at like this horrendously low amount. So I should have actually taken the Zanya's Paradox, which is a really good Mordekaiser item. Look how slow he's attacking. So I actually griefed myself super duper hard here by taking the Silvermere Dawn on Mordekaiser. That was a mistake. I actually think it cost me winning this round, because I think I would have won this round otherwise. But instead, I'm going to end up losing it. Oh, but never mind. Here comes Headwinder. And by the way, am I still getting stacks here for as he kills stuff? No, but it doesn't matter. And that actually is going to knock out that other team. If this game had gone one more round, I would have gotten really close to the 750 stack cash out. I think I was like 2 or 3 units killed away from that. And I was about to send a Jinx over to Headwinder's board, which would have made Jinx 2-star. So we kind of rampaged through this lobby. Headwinder got that early 3-star Aurelia, and that allowed him to just kind of snowball from there, along with me finding him some Jinxes. And then in addition to that, I played the 4 Emissary plus Conquer, and I was able to get out in front of the pace of the lobby, and it really kind of worked in this game. So that was fun, and I'm going to have to remember the option to play into 4 Emissary when you're doing a Conquer board in the future, because it was a lot of fun, and it definitely worked in this game. All right, anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, take care, folks, and I will see you again soon.